Thank you for listening to Pow Block Podcast, the flagship Nintendo podcast of Boss Rush Network. Do you need even more gaming and entertainment in your life? Head over to bossrush.net where you can find news, reviews, creators, podcasts, and more focused around the content you enjoy.
Hello everybody, welcome to Nintendo Power Block here on Boss Rush Network. I'm your host, the enlightened, excited me. Joining me, making his return, back to that good old chair, and you know we doing this old school style. The one, the only, boss man himself, Mr. Corey Derrick.
Hello.
Sir.
Hi.
Hi. We are back in the building. Old school style. We keep every time me and Corey get together and we talk about Nintendo, we go old school because
Prepare for a 3-hour show, guys. Here we go.
because when we get to talking about Nintendo, we just get in the zone and this flow, and everything. Our good two friends, Dan and Jacob, they taking the night off. Some things came up that they had to handle, so they are taking a great break. And we do have an announcement at the end of the show, so we'll be mentioning that a little bit later. But
we have an announcement.
Yes, we do have an announcement.
What's the announcement?
At the end of the show,
Wait,
you'll find out.
No, I need to know this.
You already know what the announcement is.
Oh, is it for the giveaway thing? I thought we were doing that like in the middle.
We are. The other announcement. We'll find out next.
I guess I'll find out at the end of the show with you guys because I don't remember.
I know everybody's just like Eddie.
Also, Ed, where's the I can't read the giveaway.
Oh,
it's fine. Just keep going. We'll figure it out.
Well, we'll do the giveaway announcement soon.
We're already back at it, guys. Woo!
But I just want to ask you, Corey, how was your weekend?
It was great. We went to the zoo. We had a good time. I watched my nephew and we played Destiny together. It was really fun, and he had a blast, and I had a blast, and it was just a good weekend, Ed. It was a really good weekend. Played some triangle strategy, which I'll talk about, and playing with power, which was great. So, yes. How was your weekend, Ed?
My weekend was pretty good. I also did some triangle strategy, played some more Forsaken. No, Forsaken, goodness. More voice of cards to Forsaken Maiden, which I'll talk a little bit more. Got a review done for Dying Light 2, so you guys is up and available. You guys could check it there. Was rewatching Boss Rush podcast that I was on last week when I revealed a certain fact about me. And it was very hilarious.
Everybody check out the Boss Rush podcast because Ed revealed a very shocking revelation to everybody on that show.
Oh, it was so fun. Really picked up some games for Xbox. Lost at Random was on sale on Xbox, so I picked that up and got some other things with it. And then enjoying Forbidden West for Horizon. I actually said Forsaken West.
We know. We know you messed stuff up. It's fine. We got it. We're
Forbidden,
good.
Forsaken, all of this.
It's all the words.
Yes.
F words, am I right?
Wow. And played we probably talk a little bit more and play with power the Kirby demo. Man, that demo was really good. I didn't expect it, but I think I like the success when demos do that, in a sense. When you get to play a demo for a game that they're building up, that's anticipated, and they give you just that little good taste of what you're getting. And it's great that they gave you the first three, like the first world with the first three. There's 2 levels and then a boss. And yeah, like I said, we'll talk about that with playing with power. But Corey,
Yes.
we have some news about our Kirby and the Forgotten Land giveaway.
Yes,
Should I read it?
We do. All right, Elite Block agents, strap in. All right, here we go. Welcome back, Elite Block agents. Your second mission, should you choose to accept it, will be to comment hashtag Kirby demo on the pinned tweet and the Boss Rush Network Twitter page. I think we were supposed to read the hashtag in the middle of the show, not at the beginning. It's fine. It's, it's... God,
Yes.
It's okay. It's okay, Galatrad. You will just have to yell at me later. It's fine. Doing so will earn you another entry into the Kirby giveaway. Remember, you can still listen to the previous episode to get the secret code as well for more entries. The giveaway will happen on the March 21st episode of Nintendo Pow Block. Ed, we have one more show between then and now? Because technically we're on spring break next week, but we might still do a show just because we need to get another entry. Maybe. We'll see. We'll talk about that after the show. Your second hashtag is Kirby demo. Everybody.
Yes. So remember, everyone, if you are watching this live,
Shane, you can't leave. Shane, I see you in the chat. You're not allowed to leave now that you know the hashtag. No.
You guys will have to wait till Wednesday to give us that hashtag. And hopefully we will see you guys that day.
Yeah.
You guys will answer in. So yeah. So Corey.
Yes.
I gotta ask you this question.
I don't like this question.
We're doing old school Nintendo Power Block.
Yes.
And it's been a while that we have done this.
Yeah, it's been that long.
Can you? Well, yeah. But can you tell the people what time it is? When we're reading questions, what segment?
It's time for the question block.
Yes.
Question block, guys. Woo! Love it.
Yes. So Corey, go ahead. Ask us what we got in our question block.
All right, so we're gonna ask Shane's question first, since he's here in the chat. I know he's antsy to get out of here so he can go post his hashtag on the Twitter. I'm gonna be busting on Shane all night. Just kidding, Shane. I like Shane a lot.
Yes.
He asks, what will be the next video game series to announce a TV series? There's been a lot announced lately. So, Ed, you said you had a lot to say about this.
Yes. Okay. So for people who don't know, and this is kind of a Nintendo thing, we got 4 TV shows coming. And Cuphead is on Netflix, and people can go watch that. But we got the Halo coming to Paramount Plus. We got The Last of Us going to HBO. There seems to be a Twisted Metal TV show in production.
Yep, at Peacock.
At Peacock, okay. And God of War just got announced, and it is coming to Amazon Prime. So
this really, not to like side tangent the show, even though this is exactly what the show is going to be tonight.
Yeah,
it shocks me that Sony is going so many different places when they have that Netflix contract for their theatrical releases. Why are they going to all these other places for their other stuff?
Probably because it may be an easier deal with it. They could be able to get those more shows out at whatever time,
I guess.
Yeah, because if they're doing it just from Netflix and everything, I don't know how their Netflix contract is, but
I mean, I know it's just for theatrical releases, right? So, Uncharted will debut on Netflix when it comes to streaming services, but it just kind of shocks me that that's what they're doing. So, I don't know. Anyways, continue. Sorry.
Oh no, that's I agree with you. I think so. I was thinking about this when Shane asked this question. I was just like, man, Quantum Break on Xbox, that live section that Remedy did was phenomenal.
It was pretty good.
I'm like, I really want to see a follow-up TV show to that series, because I think it's, regardless of what people think of the game and that last boss that some people had, I would love to see this game get a follow-up. And if it's going to be during a TV show, I would love to see it. Mixing action and sci-fi and time, I would love to see how they would conclude this show or this game with a TV series. Because I think it would literally work well with it. Now, from a Nintendo perspective, I think Arms would make a nice cartoony, or Punch Out would make a nice anime style, because Nintendo have great anime cutscenes or cartoon styles and stuff. But I could actually see Fire Emblem getting a 10-episode series, and definitely Star Fox. Because when
No, look, Fire Emblem would need like 30 episodes a season, because all of their fights would be like, they would take like 4 episodes, the way that like a Dragon Ball episode does, where like their whole fight sequence would be like 4 episodes.
Because I think the stories are there for Fire Emblem. I think they got great stories, or they could go and create new stories. And I think definitely it would be a Japanese production. I don't think it would be an American production, because it just wouldn't work for it.
I don't know. I could see the Castlevania team doing a Fire Emblem
kind of anime style.
Yeah.
The people who did that Star Fox anime for Star Fox Adventure, I would love to see them continue on. And I cannot think of who did it. It is a popular anime studio, but I would love to see Star Fox get an anime too.
Yeah, but that's just based off that Wii U.
Yeah, but it was so good. It was so well done, though. It really
was. I don't disagree with you, but that's the only reason why you bring up Star Fox, is because that that anime, that like teaser thing they did for the Star Fox Zero was so good.
Yeah.
Star Fox Zero, by the way, sitting here on my desk.
But I think what they should do, I think it's time for a new horror game, or some kind of horror game being put into TV series. And
Resident Evil.
The Resident Evil and Silent Hill, no. I think there has to be a series that, that would interest people in looking. Like, I could see Deception for Tecmo being one. And it's just being like straight some
Final Destination type thing.
Kind of, yeah, and do it in a way that is telling like different. Is it anthology stories or something like that?
Yeah,
I could see Deception from Tecmo being a TV series. So
yeah,
sorry everybody if I brought like 10, 12 series.
You did, but it's too many. Man, I don't know. I think Zelda is like the cop out answer, right? Because we have so like Nintendo. I mean, our network is based so heavy on Nintendo, but a lot of people are Zelda fans. I mean, like half the people that we work with also work with like Zelda Dungeon and another Zelda podcast and stuff. Yeah. So like Zelda is like the quote unquote easy answer, but like I have a twist on the Zelda format, which I think we talked about on Power Block like a long time ago, where what if you focused, it would be like a Game of Thrones light style show, I guess you would say. Obviously it wouldn't be as violent because it's Nintendo and Zelda, but like that kind of like Lord of the Rings fantasy style, but you focus on Zelda and Ganon's takeover of Hyrule, right, throughout the show, and you focus on Zelda as the main character, and Link isn't even in the show until like the last episode, right? And you just watch Ganondorf's rise to power from, thief to overthrowing a kingdom, and with Breath of the Wild, I mean, that could change everything, right? Like, you could do stuff with the champions and all that kind of thing. But, I mean, Link doesn't even show up until, like, the last episode, right? And then there's, like, an epic showdown between him and Ganon. He doesn't talk. You could keep Link silent. Like, this is how you keep Link silent. And you create an interesting story around Zelda and Ganondorf and the king and maybe the champions, right? Or, like, you know what I mean? Like, it just... I think that would be a cool way to do it.
The Triforce would come into play.
Yeah,
because that is. So, can I add on with that,
no.
Corey? Because I wonder because there's going to be flashbacks in this. And I think the flashback is going to be when Zelda thinks of her mother, the queen.
I mean, you could like the way that flashbacks work. I mean, they could do it a little bit better than The Witcher did, but obviously, right? You look at The Witcher, and that was a dual timeline style show, right? That first season, at least, and you could do that where like Zelda's mother's dead, but you could do flashbacks, like you said, with Zelda and her mother, and maybe Link is just like a knight in the army or whatever, right? You see him a couple times, but like they kind of tease that it's Link, but you don't really know if it's him or not. The way they do in like Hyrule Warriors, and I think that would be like a really cool idea.
Because I feel like even though the games focus on Link and his adventure, and it may be just me, I still don't know a lot about Zelda, the different versions of her. So yeah, I can see that happening.
Yeah, I would really want something like Breath of the Wild style Zelda. I don't want like Ocarina. I think like I love Skyward Sword Zelda. I think she's charming and cute and just really endearing. But I think if you're gonna make a show revolving around Zelda and just her personality and her being a strong leader and like really taking over, right? You have to go with the Breath of the Wild style Zelda.
She has more emotions, more character depth.
That's the thing, is she has more depth and there's actual character growth there. Right?
Yes.
With like, her struggling to kind of find her way in the role that she's supposed to play. Right. And I think there's a lot you can do with that character by herself.
Yes. The camera shots of her, because her being in white has to play a part, her white and gold to like her to represent like the light arrows and stuff like that. Man, the camera shot is probably going to be, people would gift it like it ain't no tomorrow and probably make jokes and stuff. But I think like the cinematography and the camera angles will just be amazing. I don't know who would be able to direct it or anything, but I would sign up for whoever gets that. I would literally sign up to watch it.
Yeah. So I mean that would be my ideal show. I think you could probably do like a over the top speed racer style show on F-Zero. I think that would be really fun.
Oh yes.
So I don't really know where you go from there. Obviously we're getting a Mario movie, so I don't know if you would want to explore a TV show either, but I mean the Mario movie, I think, is what it is, and I know the Donkey Kong movie is supposedly in development. So I think you just gotta like. Sorry.
Oh, the movie, The Wizard. Did you think we could turn that into like a retro style, like '90s, and do like the Space World Championship or the World Series Championship that Nintendo have, or something like that?
I mean, you could, but I don't know. I mean, theoretically, you could, but also. They kind of already tried to do something with that with like Ready Player One, and that movie was bad.
So
at least the parts of the movie that I watched because I didn't watch the whole thing because it was so bad to me. God, okay. Everybody was like, "Oh, you need to watch Ready Player One. That's totally your type of movie." I was like, "Why?" Because I play video games and there's a lot of gaming references. Yeah, I'm like, dude, this movie's terrible. This movie is like everything I hate about when movies try to shove games into movies. This is like, it's a whole movie based on that. No.
Exactly.
Although I am excited to see Uncharted. Speaking of video game movies, I really want to see Uncharted. I've heard a lot of not terrible things about it. So
it just did. It hit like 300 million.
I know,
worldwide.
And I'm excited. I really wanted to I really want to watch the new Tomb Raider movie, or the newish one. I haven't watched it yet, which is surprising because I really wanted to see it. We were championing that movie when it got announced, and I never saw it. So
yeah,
maybe I'm part of the problem. Of course, there's supposedly a sequel in the works for that movie.
Yes, so. I say it's a really good popcorn movie, and it really takes a lot from the modern games. It's really good. It's just something that, even if you feel like you don't want to watch it or just want to play it on the background, it's really entertaining. I really enjoyed it. I came away really impressed. I'm like, yeah, I will watch part 2 when it comes out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not looking for an Oscar nominated movie. I'm looking for a fun action and really just something stupid to watch, And
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm also the guy who really likes the last Indiana Jones movie, so I'm not exactly the movie guy here, I guess, okay?
I would admit I haven't watched the last movie yet.
It's so fun until the last 5 minutes, and it becomes like a CGF fest, but it's up to that point. It's it's fun. It's fine.
It's fun. Yes. I would love to see Professor Layton come over to America. I would love to see more of those as a TV show. And Phoenix Wright. I know there's a Phoenix Wright movie in Japan, but I'm like, I would love to see that in America as a TV show. So.
All right, we have another question here.
All right.
Brad Melville writes in on Twitter and asks, he tags me in it. He says, if one Fire Emblem got a remake on Switch, a la Shadows of Valencia, which would you want? I want a Sacred Stones remake so bad. Sacred Stones is a good one. I'll give him that. But I really kind of want Dawn of Radiance and Radiant Dawn to be remade in kind of one package. Just because the GameCube one, I always get the two mixed up, but the GameCube one is really fun. It's challenging, but it's really fun. I like the characters. It's a great game. And then the Wii one is kind of like a pseudo sequel to it. I think it might actually be a direct sequel. I don't know. It's been so long since I played them, but I know they go together in some capacity. And if they could do a Advance Wars 1+2 reboot camp style package, right? I think that would be really great. So that's my pick.
For me, I kind of would like the Fire Emblem that was on the DS. I'm trying to find out which one that was, because I remember, was it DS? Yeah, it should be DS.
What, Shadow Dragon?
I think so.
Shadow Dragon was already a remake of the first game, I think.
It came in a gold box.
Yeah.
Was that the DS one? Because there wasn't one for a Game Boy Advance, I don't think. Or was there? Because that was the reason why I say that one is because that was my first thing into Fire Emblem. And I remember getting to the second part, the second chapter of the game, and dying because I didn't know how to play. Fire Emblem at that time was still in Japan, so if we got any that came to America, a lot of people just didn't know about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Look, just we need to restart the Pets Initiative, okay? Port everything to Switch. Okay? Come on. Just do it. Port it all. Give it to me.
Oh, yes.
Give me all the games on Nintendo Switch.
Think you... Oh, wow.
You didn't like my song, Ed?
I do love your song. It was hot. It was a blazing track.
Yeah, you're such a bad liar.
But yeah, I agree with you, Corey. Bring on, because I think now, like, if they could, once again, if they put Game Boy Advance and Game Boy games and all that stuff on Nintendo Switch Online, I think Fire Emblem is going to get released on there. Whatever they could bring, and because I will play it with the quickness.
I mean, that's fine. Like, so, Brad, just to answer your question with a truthful fact here. I played the GameCube and the Wii versions of Fire Emblem, but my love for Fire Emblem didn't really start until Awakening, like the modern formula of Fire Emblem. I really like that, and I actually think going back to like the old games without adding the nuances and the gameplay mechanics of the newer games would actually almost hurt it, right? Because they tried that with Fates. Remember, Birthright was like the new style Fire Emblem, and Conquest was just straight up old school Fire Emblem, right?
Yeah.
And it was hard. It was how do I want to say it? It was just unapologetically difficult. And so I think if you're going to port these games over to Switch, you have to do some sort of
balancing.
And not just balancing, but just rework of the how the games work, and because those mechanics aren't in those games, so
right. And Awakening just got it perfect.
Yeah, Awakening. I think Birthright's better than Awakening personally. I know that's like not a very popular opinion, but I really liked it. So
yeah,
I also like Shadows of Valencia though. So.
Take it what it is. Any more questions, Corey?
That's all I have, Edward.
All right, then we're going to get into Snacktendo.
37 or 28 minutes into the show.
Yes.
That's fine.
So everybody, I am going to actually start Snacktendo with this episode because I actually did some new snacks. Haagen-Dazs at my job, we got some new ones. So I actually tried black and white cookie ice cream. It was a vanilla ice cream with black and white cookies pieces in it. And I know we've been talking about it on our Discord, but you guys should join us there for
join the Discord.
Yes. About black and white cookies. And I've never heard of it. I've never known about this cookie or anything, and it was good. It was fine, nothing too bad. They had some fine, they had some, because the ice cream was covering up the cookie. I was getting more ice cream flavor than what the cookie was, so I didn't know if it was like a sugar cookie or what. It was just a weird balance. I had a berry flavored cake pop where it's those little strawberry cups, like it's the vanilla with like strawberry kind of mixed in and stuff. It's that kind of cup with cake breading in it, to represent like a cake pop, and it wasn't bad. But what my favorite is coffee chocolate brownie. So the chocolate tastes like coffee in the sense. It's kind of like mocha. And it has brownie pieces into it. And it was pretty good. That was the one that I love. They got some peanut butter pretzel one, and I'm like, no, I can't do peanut butter ice cream. I love peanut butter when I do sandwiches with jelly, and Reese's. Other than that, I was just like, oh no, I would have thrown up with that. My last snack though that I have to introduce to you guys. Oh, there's also, and I'm going to talk about this next time we come back. I didn't get to try the jelly beans that I brought yet, because there are some Fruit Loop jelly beans that just came out.
Oh, of course there are.
And I'm just like, what is this? Everybody at work, Corey, has just like literally brought it, and we're gonna come back and tell each other if we liked it or not, or anything.
Wow.
But the last one I kind of want to show you guys these are M&Ms. These are honey graham M&Ms.
What?
And yes,
Where do you find this stuff?
This is Easter. This is Easter candy this year. So this is the first time.
Okay.
Yes. So it's M&Ms with actual honey graham crackers in it, and it's not bad. Think of if you tried the M&M Crispies, it's like that. But it has a lot of graham crackers. So it's mixing that good M&M chocolate that it's known for with honey graham pieces. It's not bad. I just picked it up and gave it a try snacking to that, and I'm like, ooh, this is really good. It's not on my top. It's not a top tier kind of M&M and stuff, but it is good. I do recommend it.
So what are they called?
Honey graham M&Ms.
I don't know. I don't know. Is that it?
Yeah, that's all I have been snacking on.
You look distracted, Ed. Ed's watching something on the side. He doesn't have time to podcast.
No, I had time to podcast. I just got a message from somebody. I'm just like, oh.
No
okay.
messages.
As your phone goes off with buzzes.
Hey, I have a wife and children, okay?
That is true, yes.
What if one of them is breakdancing in their bedroom? I gotta go see.
To go record it?
Yeah. It's good content. I'm going to put it on the Boss Rush TikTok.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man.
But Corey, what have you been snacking on?
I mean, nothing really. I mean, we had some Chinese food this weekend. Nothing really interesting, you know? I mean, so all of our snacks are like different because my son has like a dairy kind of intolerance, so my wife has been really trying to not eat dairy also. And so all of our snacks have changed. But there's this really good dip at Aldi. It's just the street corn dip, and it's really good. So I've been snacking on that, and it's real good. I'm into it. But I mean, that's really the only interesting thing. We didn't really do anything interesting this weekend, to be honest with you, in terms of food. I really missed my big fat burrito. That's all. But yeah, that's it. What's wrong, Ed? Ed's not paying attention again.
Yes, because we've been talking about Aldi's all week at work, and literally me and you've been talking about Aldi's, and so that corn dip, I may have to go get some. I've been wanting to go to Aldi's and do some grocery shopping there, and get some really good snacks.
Nice. Get them.
So
get those snacks. You should get the fake Oreos with like the vanilla and then the chocolate, and you just smash them together like a double stuffed Oreo. You should do that.
Ooh, yes. I will check it tomorrow. If it is the right one, I'll send you a picture to be like, are these the ones? And I'll just say yes. Then I will go eat them. I'll go get them.
Cool. Ed's blowing up over there. Ed's Hollywood tonight.
Yeah. Surprisingly. But but that's all for your Snacktendo?
Yeah, it is. Yep.
All right. Well, we kind of got so we have a certain new segment, everybody. We kind of separated the new releases from the news. And so since Dan wasn't able to make it, we have retitled this, Hey You, What's New? And these are all the new releases that is coming to the Nintendo Switch. Some games we are omitting because the list is long. And once again,
Yeah,
Nintendo Switch got a lot.
Do you want me to do the segment since Dan's not here, or are you going to do it? Because there's a few standouts in here.
We could. I could do it. I could do it for this week.
Fine.
Well, on Tuesday we got the Wild Case, which is a 2D point-and-click adventure set in a remote village deep in the forest. It's digitally is at $9.99, but you get on sale for $8.49. Probably by the time you guys see this, it may be on its regular price, but if it's still on sale, you guys could pick it up. On Wednesday we have Will You Snail, SNAIL. It's a puzzle platformer where there's a AI squid that tries to predict your moves and stop you from advancing. It's digitally for $14.99. Thursday on March 10th, there is a lot of games: Ancient Islands, Ashwalkers. The big one though is Aztec Forgotten Gods. Take control of your protagonist, Chatili, and battle Colossus gods. It is ambitious indie action adventure game. You guys can pre-order it right now. It's digitally $29.99. This was part of last year's Nindy Direct. So if you guys want to see it, go take a look at it. It really, I've been wanting this game ever since I seen that first trailer. I got my copy already pre-reserved, and I cannot wait for it. Chocobo GP is also coming on March 10th. It's the Final Fantasy meets Mario Kart, where you take control of your favorite Final Fantasy characters and race through familiar settings. It's $49.99, or for right now, that is digitally. And one big one, Republic Anniversary Edition. Experience a 3D narrative stealth adventure game that explores the perils of government surveillance in the internet age. Amazing voice actors such as Rena Strober, Fire Emblem, Jennifer Hale, Mass Effect, David Hayter, Metal Gear Solid, and Dwight Schwartz, Marvel's Spider-Man, all appear in this game, and it's digitally $14.99. And this was a mobile game from the guy who comes from who used to work with Kojima. He left and made Camouflage his own studio, and this is where this game came from. Over the years, it's been kind of episodic on mobile, but I believe this is the complete edition for it. And the last but not least, Young Souls is a beat 'em up starring orphans Jen and Tristan, who search for the scientists that raised them, and it's digitally $24.99. On Friday, you got Hotel Transylvania Scary Tale Adventures. Take control of Drac and Mavis and play through unique worlds with their own spooky spin, including Red Riding Hood, the Emperor's New Clothes, and Alibaba and the 40 Thieves in the 3D action platformer for $39.99.
Wow.
It's a lot, and there's more games. So go check out Dan's article on bossrush.net. You guys will get catch up on some news, and definitely check out what games interest you. Any of these games interest you, Corey?
I think the standout here is Aztec Forgotten Gods, which Stephanie will have a review up on by release day. I think we actually invited her to be on the show tonight, but she's like neck deep in reviewing this game. So have fun with that, Stephanie. But yeah, it's I think that's the standout one. That was one of the standout ones at one of the Indie World showcases. So
yes,
I think that's the clear standout. I mean, also, I hear Chocobo GP isn't bad. And like they have like it's free, but there's also like the digital version, which gives you like the battle pass and extra characters and whatever. And I think the first season is Final Fantasy VII themed. So if you're looking for more Mario Kart, I guess, before the DLC drops in a couple days, like that's it.
Yes. Well, everybody, it's time for Femi News. Take it away, Corey.
All right, hold on. I gotta timestamp this so I know where to edit. So, okay. Nintendo Switch Pro... Tell me where you heard this before. Nintendo Switch Pro and Switch 2 rumors swirl after NVIDIA leak. But this seems to have a little bit more of a what do you call it, more, I don't know. It seems more real than the last few. So, by the way, all the articles from Family News, the headlines, and the wrap-up you can find on bossrush.net. If you want to read the whole articles or watch some of the trailers or the videos that we posted in the articles, you can go there and check these out. They're also in the show notes. All these articles are also in the show notes of the podcast posting on the website also now, so you can check them out through there as well. Nintendo Switch Pro and Switch 2 rumors swirl after NVIDIA leak. Tell me where you've heard this one before. Rumors are swirling again that Nintendo Switch Pro is, in fact, in active development. In a recent mega leak from chip manufacturer NVIDIA, there was mention of a custom chip NVN2. Why is this important? The NVN chip was a custom chip that was used as the original Switch's graphics API. A series of tweets from noted data miner NWPlayer123 via My Nintendo News suggested that this new chip should have been used in the Nintendo Switch OLED model, but the chip shortage the world has experienced has now meant that Nintendo couldn't produce enough of these new units to meet demand. Nintendo has been on a roughly 2-year refresh rate of their hybrid console, so you may expect to see something in 2023. Ed, what are your thoughts here?
This is not happening.
Oh my gosh, here we go.
That
means it's happening, guys.
Just because it says it doesn't mean that Nintendo is ready to go thinking about Switch 2 yet, or the Switch Pro yet. I think that system is still ways off. Not because of the chip shortages, it's because they see the success of what Switch is doing now. And they're probably still thinking about how do we innovate this instead of just putting a new chip to produce better graphics, ray tracing, and all of that stuff. The technical stuff. I think they're trying to figure out how do we, if they're going to go in and do a new system, they'll go in and do a new system. And even they said that they're not working on anything. They're not even doing no research and development.
That's
that
not
hasn't
true.
even
They're
started.
always doing research and development.
If they doing any,
they're not going to
R&D,
say that, but they always are. They are.
Well,
it's Nintendo. They're doing research and development.
Well, I'm just saying that, like, for a console, I don't think they're thinking of anything just yet. I think they're trying to, they're probably brainstorming some ideas of what they can do, and they may be probably doing some designs, but they're not really trying to look like, okay, we need to go talk to this manufacturer, we need to get these parts, and like we don't see anything of that because just because this leak happened, it doesn't mean that the next 2 years we're going to finally get Switch Pro. I'm like, they're trying to get more OLEDs out, and hopefully at a point phase out the old Nintendo Switch, and everybody would have the OLED, so they would be caught up on the current stuff and everything. And plus they're truly working and focusing on games at this time. So that's why I feel like just because this so-called leak stating that chip, I don't think they're getting ready to be like, okay, we're going to put a new chip in, and this is going to be the new edition of the Switch. And just after 2 years, I'm like, no, it's going to take time for them. I think they probably have a 8 to 10 year plan with Switch before they get into a new console, and that new console, wherever it may be, it's going to be under a new name.
Well, I think the new console is literally just going to be a Switch again. But I mean, it might have a different name, but it's literally going to be a Switch again. I think they can't go back, right? We've talked about this so many times, right? And
yes,
I think that this chip is real, and I think that this rumor is real. Whether or not it's a upgraded version of the Switch or a Switch 2 has yet to be determined. But also, I think if the Switch is not, I feel like if this new Switch is not, what do you call it, powerful enough to handle things, like I think it's just going to be kind of like, I don't know, because the Switch already has a hard time running these third-party games anyway that are ported down to it, right? And so I'm just worried that we're going to have another Nintendo situation of no third-party support, but, you know, it's a handheld, so it has great indies and great first-party, which is fine, right? Like, that's what a lot of people play their Switch for, is Nintendo games and indie games, right? And
yes,
I think that's great. But I think you still need to somewhat actively have third-party games on your console. Whether or not people buy them there or not is up to them, but I think you got to at least try. So, this to me sounds more like an upgraded Switch. I mean, we know the Switch is, they said it's about halfway through its life cycle. So 5 years?
Yes.
So let's just say the Switch goes for, let's say 3 more years. Okay. Hypothetically. Does this mean that this new chip is like, would they save this for a second console? I don't know. At that point, I would just like try to, I don't know. I feel I'm just really confused at why like they would. I don't know. We talk about this all the time where the Switch still feels like a new console 5 years in, right? It still feels like a refreshing idea. I don't know why. Maybe it's because we've been trained that the Game Boy lasted 10 years, the DS lasted 10 years, the 3DS just celebrated its 10th birthday, right? Like, handhelds are the longevity of Nintendo, right? Whereas the consoles have been replaced every 4 to 5 years, right? And so now we have this awesome hybrid that does both, and I just don't want them to move away from this model. I want them to do the iPad thing where they just keep iterating on this formula instead of coming out with something new, or, you know what I mean? Like, I think the Switch is just a dominant idea. It's such a great idea. If you go back to 2 systems or a home console and a handheld, like, the thing is, if you go back to a straight home console, you have to build a box that competes with the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X.
Well,
and I don't think they want to do that.
Right, and I think that with the and that's why I feel like if they're going to go on to their next system, I think they're going to make another customized chip that's going to be a different code or anything. Well,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But this NVN2 exists. It clearly exists. So what does it exist for, right? What does it exist for a Switch 2, or does it exist for an upgraded Switch Pro? Like, that's the question. That's the real question here, right? So what does it exist for?
I think the weird thing would be, why would they put this chip in for it to get leaked and stuff? Because I don't think the first chip.
Well, the NVIDIA thing is like a massive mega. It's like a mega leak. This is more than just video game chips, right? This is like NVIDIA's future for like the next few years, right? Like they talked about it at my work. Like it has to do with like enterprise stuff too, right? Like big business ideas, not just consumer electronics chips. This is like a huge leak and a huge dumpster fire for them. This just happened to be found within this mega leak of things that are in development, right? And this chip is in development. So the chip exists. The question now is like, what does it exist for? And we know that this chip is a custom chip for the Nintendo Switch. So what is this chip for? Is it for a Switch Pro or is it for a Switch 2?
I wonder with Nintendo. Well, because that's what I wonder. My thing would be, if I worked at NVIDIA, or a person who worked at NVIDIA, if I see a representative of Nintendo, and I know this is like, I wouldn't be able to say anything or whatever, but I think what I would want more leaks of, I would want a leak of a picture of someone from Nintendo going to NVIDIA to make talks.
I mean, that's not going to happen.
That's not going to. That's not going to happen. But I'm just like, unless they did like a Zoom call or something, business meeting or something. There's something about this to be like, why would Nintendo have them put them on and then not bring this system out later on, just to have the same system with a little bit more power, when the OLED at this current state is doing well for them.
It is. I don't disagree with that. But at the same time, they're on a 2-year refresh rate. That would put this in the fall of 2023, right? And it'd be like a second generation of the OLED, right? We have we have 2 iterations of the launch Switch. They upgraded that when they brought the Switch Lite out to give it better battery life and better processing power. And there's like, it's not statistically like better. It's not higher tier enough to promote that it is, but it has better guts in it, right? Like it has a double the battery life and like easily, a little bit better processing power. Like we could have an OLED Switch too, So
I think what will end up happening if this is happening, this is for Nintendo Lite, Switch Lite. This is not for
the Lite's done. Like the Lite is what it is, right? It's a kid's thing,
Well, that's what I feel like, that if this is a new chip, I think they are going to try to get a light version that matches up to an OLED.
I mean, I don't disagree that whatever the next iteration is, it's going to have a like powerful version and a light version, right? Like, I mean, I think that makes sense, but also like, do you do that with the chip shortage too? So I don't know. I think
because I'm sorry. Go ahead, go Corey.
No, I just think we're not getting anywhere with this conversation. That's all.
Oh no, I just think that what if it was the Switch Lite and it was OLED and it was this new chip?
Well, that would be dumb
and stuff.
That's just dumb.
Because people would be mad.
Yeah, people would be mad. I think the Switch Lite was a nice idea at the time. I think it's a nice thing to buy your kid if you don't want them to have an expensive piece of electronics, right? $200 is a nice sweet spot. And kids don't care about an OLED screen or the dock or anything. They just want to play Pokemon and Mario Kart and be like, or Minecraft or Fortnite. That's what the Switch Lite is for. So,
right. And I think people will be upset, but I'm like, you place that expectation on something that I just have a feeling Nintendo is not doing anything for their new system just yet. And I wish they were. I think they probably are digging up some things for their research and development. I want to see what would be more important to me is Nintendo talking to Epic for Unreal Engine 5 to be on their system. I want to know if they're having talks with Square Enix of Luminous system of that engine could work on them. If they're talking to these other companies to get the latest engine that could work on their system, that's when I know there's another thing coming. Go ahead.
The thing to me is like, I don't think Nintendo cares. I mean, if they can use I think the only reason why they care about an engine is if they can use it, right?
Yeah.
We know what Kirby and Yoshi and a couple other games are running on Unreal. I think, but like the Mario engine is the Mario engine, right? That runs Luigi's Mansion, that runs Mario Odyssey, that runs all the Mario games. The Zelda engine is the Zelda engine, right? It's the Monolith engine, I think, actually. But like, it runs Zelda, it runs Xenoblade. I don't think Nintendo cares unless they can use it, and I think they're perfectly fine with whatever they're using, and I just don't think it matters to them.
Well, so. I think that's why a new custom chip would be made for them. I think if they get that information of what they could get from their third party, then they'll be like, okay, now we need to make a chip that can run it, at least get it running somewhat. Yeah, but I do agree.
Yeah. So we'll see. I hope that they just keep doing the iPad thing and just keep iterating, because
it works.
This is the best thing that Nintendo's done since the Game Boy Advance, in my opinion. So, anyways, we are going to move on, Ed. We are going to move on to Nintendo Switch Sports. Nintendo Switch Sports may be serving up some extra games in future updates, suggests a recent data mine. Revealed by Twitter user WipeoutJack7 and data miner Toy-Con Garage VR, it seems more sports will be added periodically, with basketball and dodgeball having been found in the code. Now, this could just be old code that they couldn't get right, as suggested in the tweet, but also looking at Nintendo's Switch Sports as a game that constantly gets updated with new sports and mini games would make a surefire long-term hit after the game is out. All right, Ed, do you see Nintendo Switch Sports adding more sports throughout the time?
Yeah, I mean, this is nothing new.
Yeah.
What sports games will come to it? I think we'll probably get boxing. Yeah, I think basketball will be there. Dodgeball will I think it would be a new one. I don't think there's been a dodgeball in any of those Wii Sports games.
I don't think so either.
I could actually see, and even some Olympic stuff could come in. So maybe some stuff from Wii Fit that they bring in. I think this is nothing new. I just think we definitely will get some. When we get it after the golf game, it's going to be more of the question. And I say probably every 3 months we might get something. We might get some updates in a new game. Maybe 2 or 3 new games for it. Because if they're small, Nintendo shouldn't have to charge for it. I think it should be just like, here's a free update. Here are 3 new sports games that you guys could dive into. Here's the online functionality and tournaments and stuff if you guys care to. Yeah. And I think they'll probably get up to, I want to say maybe 10 sports games that they would have on this. And I think that would be fine. Mm-hmm. Like up to like 10 sports games.
Yeah. I could see them doing like 10 or 12.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be a good round number. Although I think people are literally just looking forward to bowling again.
Yeah.
Because just think about it, man. The Wii Sports is it's like 17 years old at this point.
Yeah, but people just enjoyed it.
I know. Fun. I'm not saying they didn't. I'm just saying that game is so, man. Remember when Wii Sports came to Wii U, the Wii Sports Club version of it?
Yeah.
Man, that game became so hard to find after the first week.
Exactly.
And it's I looked on Amazon and eBay the other day because I was like, I think it'd be really cool just to have the Wii U version of that game because I know it was hard to find. It's $80 used. Oh my gosh, get out of here.
I'll be looking at what kind of Salvation Army garage sale is going on. There's some grandmama or some mama who's trying to get rid of some games that they don't play.
Man, dude,
that's the treasure trove.
So, I told you that my mission right now is to get as many Wii U and 3DS games as I possibly can before the eShops close. Yeah. I'm not buying the eShop versions. I'm buying the physical versions. But as soon as those eShops close, those prices are going up.
Oh, heck yeah.
And so I'm just trying to get the last of the games that I don't have, right? I need one other Fire Emblem game. I need to get Ocarina of Time physically. I need to get Metroid Samus Returns physically. There's a couple games that I just don't have physically for 3DS. And so, yeah. Anyways, let's move on, Ed, to our final story of the night in the headlines. A new Fire Emblem may be closer than you think. In a recent Nintendo Direct, we learned that Nintendo is releasing Fire Emblem Warriors Three Hopes, a title that serves both as a sequel to the previous Fire Emblem Warriors as well as the Fire Emblem's Three Houses sequel this June. However, it seems that it may not be the only Fire Emblem title we get this year. Emily Rogers, a notable industry, specifically Nintendo insider, has suggested that a proper entry to the popular strategy franchise is also on the way, coming out as early as October. Jeez, October, guys. Wow, I'm having a stroke or something. Will it be an October 2022 release, or will it be a 2023 release, February or March? I've mentioned before that this game is nearly finished with its development. Intelligent Systems has had over 3+ years to develop this game, and they recently received assistance from a support studio. Let's rewind the clock back to the year 2017, where that year Nintendo released 2 Fire Emblem games, Fire Emblem Warriors and Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valencia. Who says history can't repeat itself again? While we don't know the nature of the game itself, Nintendo seems to be repeating their launch year schedule with 2 Fire Emblem games is not out of the question in 1 year. Fire Emblem Three Houses was a massive success, and their mobile outing, Fire Emblem Heroes, has generated over $1 billion in revenue in less than 3 years.
Crazy.
So, Ed, I went back to find the episode of Nintendo Power Block where we talked about. Remember when we were talking about the Switch version was in development, but it was still called the NX, and we knew a Fire Emblem game was coming out, right? But the rumor at the time was a pirate Fire Emblem game, right? And I wrote this up in the article. Like when I write a news story, I usually put like a my take at the bottom of it, and it's time, Ed, for the pirate Fire Emblem game. It's time. It's time.
And it would definitely work. How they would go about it. I'm interested in the story.
Yeah.
Cause like, is there do you get crew members kind of like Suikoden? Like sometimes you would do requests and you would fight different things and end up with new characters added on. And the more characters you build this like castle. So I wonder, would Nintendo be like, okay, you have to go out, you fight these people, you get a crew, or people would join you and you guys make this big pirate organization, and you're trying to stop this one antagonist, and if you stop them, you'll have all the riches and stuff. Like, I wonder, how do they go from Three Houses to a pirate setting? Because I'm intrigued. Like, did you do both battle systems, or do you keep that traditional sword fighting?
Here's my thought. Like, I love Fire Emblem, but I'm really tired of like the kind of like European kind of castle mystical type thing, right? Like, I love Three Houses, right? But that art style, or a similar art style, been used for like since the series started, but like, I mean, since Awakening for me, right? So I think you could do something unique with pirates. Like, it could still like kind of be similar in art style, but you could add flair to it with like, you could add a captain's hat for some stat boosts or something. You could do something really unique with some, outfit changes or class abilities or, stuff like that. I think it would be really awesome to do pirates. I think you could do some like, even go a little bit further and do, port takeovers, right? And in the way that you could do it in like Assassin's Creed Black Flag, right? Remember, like, you could roll up to a fortress and take it over, right? But I mean, obviously it wouldn't be real time. It'd be a strategy thing, but like, you could take over fortresses and garner resources from that fortress and new party members, and you could either like threaten them or be kind to them to try to get different stats out of them, and to see if they would help you or not. Like, there's different things you could do, and I think that would be really awesome to see in a Fire Emblem game.
Right. And Nintendo has experience in water design levels.
Yeah, but I don't think that would really matter in a Fire Emblem game, though, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah, but I think with intelligent system, if they're doing it, they did codename Steam. So they could borrow ideas from that, and really, like, put it like, because I maybe it's just me, but I think Nintendo's take on a pirate Fire Emblem, which has really not only take the Fire Emblem series to a new level. I feel like this would probably be maybe the first strategy game for pirates.
I mean, Sid Meier's Pirates is like one of the best strategy games ever. Like, I mean, that's not like a.
But is it like
they're rare?
Right? Is it like that tactical style, or is it?
I mean, I don't really know. It's been so long since I played Sid Meier's Pirates, but I know it's like a strategy kind of RPG style thing. I wouldn't. I'm not the person to be talking to. I just know that it's like a pirate strategy game.
And wasn't there kind of something like that in Mario Part? Not Mario Party. Mario and Luigi. Wasn't
I mean,
kind of like some kind of battle thing?
Bowser's Inside Story, I thought, didn't it? Did it not? Or did I make that up?
I think it was The Dream.
I don't remember.
I don't. There was like a kanji kind of one, like it was Godzilla or something. You had a Paper Mario or whatever, or
Paper
Mario
Jam.
Was it Paper Jam?
Well, that's the one that Paper Mario is in. So
I had to
really don't
research.
know.
But I would be excited. I think, well, definitely I have to hear the soundtrack. You know, the music. You could just hear the waves and birds. And once the music comes in, because it's going to have to be an animated cutscene to introduce this game and the voicing. Because if you hear the voice and it sounds like Pirates,
they need to get the team that did the Link's Awakening opening.
Yes. I would be down for that.
Although the three houses cutscenes aren't terrible. They're pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I think it's time. I agree with you. I think it's time for them to introduce a pirate, because it's going to sell no matter what. Because I think this allows Nintendo and Intelligence System to have add new gameplay elements.
Yeah.
And be able to tell an intriguing pirate story.
Yeah.
That, go ahead.
Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. But you could, remember in, was it Awakening, that you could, upgrade your house or your fortress or whatever?
Yeah.
They could do that for, a pirate ship, and then, your base of operations. You could, have a couple upgrade type things that give you better stats, right? You could go in and upgrade your pirate fortress to have better weapons, or better, maybe you can harvest better food and better beer to boost your stats or something.
Yes.
Or you could boost your ship to be able to find take on bigger squads, I guess, to an extent. I don't know. I think there's so many cool things you could do with pirates. Plus, pirates are cool, man. You know what I mean? Pirates are cool. So
and you could, and maybe even borrow stuff from Advance Wars.
I mean,
if they need to.
I mean, you could theoretically, you could build your own fleet out and
that'd be really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So
now, I feel like it is coming, and that's why I said I think we'll see it at E3 this year. When it's released, I think because of 3 Hopes happening this year, I feel like it's going to be 2023.
Yeah.
For next year.
Yeah. I think it all depends on Zelda, to be honest with you.
That is true.
I think if Zelda comes out this year, they're pushing Fire Emblem to March, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Fire Emblem would be February or March.
Well, can I ask you a question before we end the segment? Mm-hmm. Did you think it'd be a stronger 2023 if Fire Emblem and Zelda is for next year?
I mean, see, I don't think they need Zelda or Fire Emblem this year. I think their year is strong enough as it is this year, but also you need that October game. I think Zelda would be a better October game personally. I think not that Fire Emblem isn't big, but Zelda is bigger. And if you want to take on presumably God of War and whatever Microsoft decides to put out this year, you're going to need that Zelda you're going to want that 1-2 punch of Zelda Pokemon, right? To sell consoles, and then they'll do that stupid Mario Kart bundle again.
Yeah, because I think if they did push Zelda, push it to March, make it spring, because I think Fire Emblem Pirates, let's call it, will be a good introduction for February. They could port something. Let's say Xenoblade X. Xenoblade Chronicles X for January. Port something.
Well, they're not gonna put out Xenoblade Chronicles X right after 3.
Well, I'm just talking about. Well, yeah, I'm just using it as a game. Just port something. The Nintendo the NES Challenge collection. Port that and put it out in January.
Speaking
Fire
of,
Emblem,
where's NES Remix at?
that's what I wonder. I feel like we're getting that at E3. I literally feel like we're getting that at E3. It made them too much money, and the people really enjoyed it. So, something for January, Fire Emblem Pirates for February, and Zelda for March. Because at that point in time, it maybe be. I don't think Microsoft and Sony have anything out ready to go just yet because they're having a big year this year.
Mm-hmm.
That would literally be the time to get those 3 games out. Start the spring, start the end of winter on a good note. Start the spring on a hot note.
Yeah. I mean, look, January is always big for them. I think, and it's been on a cadence since launch, right? January is like a really strong port, right? Like of what was it? I think Bayonetta came out one year.
Yeah.
New Super Mario Brothers U came out one year, and then like their major releases start in February, right? And so
yes,
you release Fire Emblem in February, and then Zelda in March, I think would be like the perfect thing. And then you like man, I don't even know what's left to port in January, but you know what I mean? Like maybe that Metroid Prime remake comes out in January, right?
Yeah.
Like that would be like a huge first quarter for them.
Yeah.
So
to get ready for Metro, if they push Metro Prime 4 to 2023, that would be a good year.
Well, yeah, that's not coming out this year.
Oh yeah, so. But I mean that's a strong year for Nintendo again, and maybe Super Mario Odyssey too, if they want to do it for 2023.
Yeah, I mean you do. I think 2023, right? Like you do Fire Emblem, you do Zelda, you do Mario Odyssey, and you do Metroid Prime remake. Like that's a huge year right there.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I mean,
or if you put Zelda out this year, you could put out Wind Waker and Twilight Princess next year and be totally satisfied.
Yeah, because I just have a feeling that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is the last major game for Nintendo in November, and they don't do nothing for December.
Oh yeah, I don't think they're doing anything in December. So yeah.
Even though Starfield is in, well, no, Starfield wouldn't affect. Even though that's before Pokemon, November. I think we're good for November.
Yeah, but I think Pokemon and Starfield are two totally different audiences. Right?
Oh yeah.
I think anything that Nintendo puts out, like as much as I say, hey, they need this to compete with this, they need this to compete with that, like. I think Nintendo audiences are going to buy Nintendo games no matter what, and it doesn't matter, right? It's the quote unquote outsiders that you want to try to draw in, right? And Pokemon does that, Zelda does that. I don't think Xenoblade does that, but I think Xenoblade has a hardcore audience that will buy those games no matter what. Which is like, I've been replaying the first game, and it's awesome. I love that first game.
Yeah.
So.
I think when me to bring in Starfield, I think that's just a compliment to Microsoft, and I'm like, that's three hot games coming that month, so that's really good just for November for gamers.
Yeah, so we'll see, but
now, Corey, I want to pirate. I do now. I want to see what it is.
I know. I want to see what they could do with a different type of Fire Emblem game. You know.
Yeah.
So. All right, we're gonna move on to the wrap up. Thanks everybody for dealing with that news stories of the day. So our wrap up: Ezio seems to be joining Fortnite. Ezio Auditore de Firenze is known for climbing the rooftops of Italy and assassinating targets with his hidden blade, but now it seems he would be jumping off something other than a famous landmark. In a recent leak, the leader of the Brotherhood may be making his way to Fortnite with 2 outfits, his hidden blades as a harvesting tool, and an exclusive emote. Fortnite continues to be the unstoppable crossover game and continues to deliver some great surprises almost 5 years after it debuted. Next story, Nintendo drops a surprise demo of Kirby and the Forgotten Land almost a month ahead of launch. The demo includes 2 difficulty settings, the first 3 levels, and a fun new launch trailer. Kirby and the Forgotten Land glides onto Nintendo Switch on March 25th. And last but not least, Atari is publishing their first original game in almost a decade, developed by Graphite Lab. Combinera is a puzzle game in which players control different colored balls, each with their own unique power to solve over 300 puzzles. The balls move at the same time, adding tension to each puzzle. This is the first of 13 games Atari aims to publish in the next 13 months to regain their prominence in the gaming industry. So, did you see this Combinera game, Ed?
No, I didn't even know that Atari was back making games.
Yeah. So they're kind of doing the thing that Konami has kind of quietly been doing, is seeking out little indie studios and trying to make publishing deals with them. And this game actually looks really cool. I did a lot of research on Graphite Lab. They're like a really small indie team. I think there's like 10 or 12 people that work there. But this game looks really fun and unique and cool. And the story's on our website. There's actually a trailer on the website too, if you want to go check it out. I'm kind of excited for it. I mean, it's coming to everything, but it looks like the perfect Switch game. So, yeah, I don't really know when it's coming out, but it's coming out soon. So that's the wrap up. A couple content shout outs I want to shout out before we move into our next section there, Ed.
Yes.
Let me see here. Hold on, I lost it.
This game looks interesting. I'll just check the trailer. Yeah, it looks really interesting.
Yeah, it looks really cool. So, all right, content shoutouts. Dan's Boss Rush Banter, after 5 years, is the Nintendo Switch the best Nintendo console? It's a really good read. I highly suggest you check it out. I cannot believe that this device right here is 5 years old. This is my launch Switch, by the way. I turned it on today to see if it was still like chugging along, and spoilers, it is. And then also, for you movie fans out there, check out Mark's review of The Batman. It's a really, really good review. I have not seen the movie yet, but the review was well written and really great. So really go check that out. So that's what I have for our content shout outs, Ed.
Yes, I'm actually going Wednesday to go see The Batman. I'm excited.
Cool.
Yes. So everybody, it's time for Doc Mode. The Nintendo Switch is officially 5 years old in its lifespan, and we all have a lot of memorable moments with the games, announcements, directs, and business numbers. We're reflecting on the strengths, downtimes, and personal experience and what we predict for the future of this console. You ready, Elite Black Agents? Let's go! Now, of course, Dan and Jacob isn't here, and me and Corey, we
well, you know what? That's their fault. Okay, not here.
We kind of talked a little bit of it on Expression Pass that you guys should check out, and I asked Corey on that episode, what made you want to get a Nintendo Switch. We had a great discussion from that. And
still the funniest question I think you've ever asked me. It's like the amazing revelation you made on the Boss Rush podcast.
That is true. But now that we talked a little bit earlier about the NVIDIA leak, I kind of want to ask you, Corey, 5 years with the Nintendo Switch. What have you come away from it, in a sense?
I mean, I think output wise, I think it looks like it's the strongest because Nintendo's only focusing on one console, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas ever since the NES, they've been focusing on two consoles, right? You focus on the Game Boy and the NES. You focus on the Game Boy Color and the Super Nintendo. You focus on the Game Boy Advance and the GameCube, right? They've always just been splitting their productivity between these two systems. And there's a lot of unique ideas from both, right? I mean, the Game Boy, like hooking the Game Boy Advance up to the GameCube to play certain games, or the link cable with the Game Boy to trade Pokemon or play Tetris. There's great ideas there, right? But overall, I mean, even the Wii U and the 3DS, right? Where like the Wii U we still talk about it to this day, where the Wii U was the prototype for the Switch, essentially, where they wanted you to have that handheld experience with console gaming, and they just reversed it at first, right? Where the console was under the TV and you streamed it to your tablet. Whereas now, obviously, the console is inside the controller, essentially. And then, you plug it into the dock and then it streams it to the TV. So, like, essentially, the Wii U was just a backward switch. But this is the best idea Nintendo has ever had. I will be shocked if they do not continue this, whether it's a Switch 2 or a Super Switch or whatever. If they do not continue this style of device, I think they're stupid. I'm sorry. I think they're stupid if they do not continue the Switch. I think it needs to be stronger. I think there needs to be better guts inside. I think they need to consider what the Steam Deck is doing. Maybe not that powerful, but like, put an SSD in there, put some more, more powerful components in it and whatever. But like, I think the Steam Deck is more popular than anybody thought it was going to be. And I know that you guys have talked about the Steam Deck a little bit on the show while I haven't been on, but like, I think the Steam Deck is actually finally a real competitor in the space. It allows you to take your Steam games on the go with you, right? Theoretically, you can put it in a dock to hook it up to a monitor or a TV. It does what Xbox does so well with xCloud, and like, you can play your consoles on your games on your PC and then take them with you, right? It is a real competitor in this space. And I think it's not like Nintendo should be scared, because obviously Nintendo has Nintendo's games, right? But I think it's something they need to, like, hey, we really need to look at this device, because if we don't take it seriously, we could end up in a Wii U situation again. And I don't want that for Nintendo. I mean, we covered the Wii U for so long, and it was awful trying to cover that console. Like, there were a lot of great games on the Wii U. Like, pound for pound, I still think it has probably the best library out of any Nintendo console up to that point, right? Like, I say it all the time. It has my 3 favorite Zelda games on it. It has the best 3D Mario game on it. It has Pikmin. It has arguably the best Xenoblade game on it. It has Tokyo Mirage Sessions, right? I think that library is awesome. But at the same time, like, it didn't sell. Why didn't it sell? Because it was underpowered console. It wasn't marketed correctly, and it couldn't compete with its competitors, right? So they took the Switch, did exactly what Nintendo does well, and made a handheld that plugs into your TV, and we're at 100 million units, right? So I think that Nintendo needs to really take the Steam Deck seriously and really iterate on the console. Now, with that said, I think that Nintendo's output on this console is unmatched to anything they've done before, even if you combine consoles at the time, right? I mean, I don't think there's been this much quality output maybe since the Super Nintendo and like the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Pocket era, at the same time, right? You can look at the N64 and the Game Boy Color. Yeah, there's hits here and there. Game Boy Advance and GameCube, I guess, could be like the closest thing. But a lot of the best games on the Game Boy Advance were remakes of Super Nintendo games or NES games, right? All the Super Mario Advance games were remakes. Not that they are bad remakes; they're great. That's the best version of Super Mario 2 I've ever played. Still a remake. Has a Link to the Past remake on it, right? I think you point at that, and the Pokemon games. The best Pokemon games on Game Boy Advance are remakes of Red and Blue, right?
Yes.
So, I think you just have to really look. I think the only down year just for me at least, was 2019, right? We had Animal Crossing, Paper Mario, and
no, that's 2020.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because 2019 was that hot year, because I think Fire Emblem, Astral Chain, Link's Awakening.
Okay, then I'm talking. Then I'm talking 2020. I got confused. Okay, you're right.
Oh, okay,
you're right. 2020, I think, was like the downer year for Switch for me, personally, right? Because it's I think their big games were Animal Crossing, which I didn't care for. Paper Mario, right, which was fine. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, great. Pikmin 3 Deluxe, great, but I played it. And Super Mario All-Stars, 3D All-Stars, which was like a dumpster fire when it came out. And so, I mean...
Was Sword and Shield?
No. The expansions came out that year. I think
for Sword and Shield.
it was the Mystery Dungeon came out. Was the Pokemon game that year.
Okay.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There was a lot of great games that year. I mean, the ones I just named were great, right? That would have been a top tier year for the Wii U.
Yeah.
But overall, like 2020, I think was the worst output for the Switch, and it was still great. So, Trials of Mana, the Mario Kart Live Home Circuit came out that year. Immortals Phoenix Rising came to Switch, which was a nice surprise.
Ring Fit Adventure became a big hit from them. Like, that jumped.
So, I mean, there was so when I'm saying a down year, I'm saying a down year for me, right? I don't care for Animal Crossing. Paper Mario is always hit or miss for me. I've played Pikmin before. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. Wonderful game, but I've played it already, right?
Yeah.
Pikmin 3, wonderful game, but I've played it already. So that to me was like the down year for Switch. But it's still like a killer year for people who haven't played those games or wanted a Warriors game to revisit the Breath of the Wild universe. Paper Mario, from all intents and purposes, is the best one, or best recent one, I guess. So yeah, their output's been phenomenal. I probably have like 200 games on my Switch, which is ridiculous.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah. So.
And I agree with you with 2020 being a down year. Definitely I know a lot of people would say due to the pandemic. I think that really changed a lot of companies' plans in general on getting these games released and everything. For me, it was really, being something new and different, like you said, mixing what they do well, which is handheld and console gaming together. Mixing that business together to make this one console, and just showing how much the support just came in. We talked about all of those hit games that came out of 2017, and then it's just been a roll of hot first party games, and then we seeing indie games come in, and how those indie games were keeping businesses open to really be like, and these games have been out on other consoles.
I mean, we talked about Blossom Tales, right? Link's Awakening, or Link to the Past kind of style game, where not only did it keep the studio open, the second game's coming out this year. They're making a Blossom Tales 2, which is coming out this year, which is so awesome, because they said if they would have went based off the Steam sales, they would have had to close, and that sucks, right? We saw that with what was that game that Jesse really liked on Xbox, Max and the Curse of Brotherhood or whatever?
Yes,
that game didn't sell at all, and the studio had to close, and then they put it on the Switch, and it sold like quadruple what it sold on Xbox, and that's really sad, because that game is really interesting and cool, and it didn't sell on Xbox because Xbox published it and it didn't sell. And so, like, if they would have just kind of held on and waited for the Switch version, I wonder how that would have done. But
even the Kamiko, the game that
the $5 Switch game that everybody needed.
The crazy thing is this, because we knew when we found out the Switch was region free, people were importing the game, and it sold like 500,000 copies. Like, it's sold a lot when it came out.
Because it was $5.
Well, yeah, but it was just like, you wouldn't think an import game for Switch in Japan would sell that much, because indie games in Japan don't do.
I think, besides the Nintendo faithful, I think the first kind of major players that moved to the Switch besides Nintendo fans were the Vita fans, right?
Yeah.
And they had been importing games forever because that console's not region locked. The stores are, but the games are not. And so when they found out that you could create a Japanese account on Switch and just play the games on the console, like that became a huge thing, right? Where there was that Dragon Quest Warriors style game, right? That everybody wanted. I'm still shocked never came out here.
It came the one that came to PlayStation.
Yeah, I'm saying it never
Switch.
came to Switch. Is what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah,
I'm shocked, but you can buy it and play it, and it's localized. It's all in English. You can play the entire game in English. It just never came here, but you can buy it on the Japanese eShop right now.
Yeah, like because all three consoles were reaching free, and everybody was so excited for that to happen. But it just looked like the Switch really took advantage of that, and people are still doing it, still buying games, even when they're watching the Japanese Nintendo Direct and be like, "Yeah, we got this game dropping now." People just like, "Oh, I'm going to buy it now," and then we get like reviews. People are talking about it, so it was surprising to see just how indies have grown and kept like a lot. There were just stories of how the games on that system kept businesses open. We talked on EXP about Civilization Civ 6, and the crossplay and cross saves, and that was shocking to PC players. But they were just like, wait a minute, this is on Switch, and you could cross do stuff. Wow! Then limited run, and special reserve. All of those indie games that got physical games selling out like hotcakes the day they get announced. Like, who knew that there was so much business happening because of Nintendo Switch?
Remember, so many people wanted. Hold on, I just got a notification about an amiibo. The King Dedede amiibo is $12.99 on Amazon. I'm gonna get it. Oh no, it's not. Never mind. It's sold out already. Dang it! I have the Kirby. What was the Kirby game? Star Allies. I have that. I have that one.
I have it too.
But the Smash one was finally back in stock, and I wanted it because King Dedede is my main in Smash, and I know how ridiculous that sounds, but I want the Smash one, and it's just I can't get it. Ah. Anyways, continue. Sorry, or was I saying something? I don't remember. I got distracted by a penguin with a hammer.
It's good that you even say Kirby, because like that free DLC fighting game came to Switch.
Oh gosh, yeah.
You know, regardless if you like it or not, but it was just like that was cool that Nintendo was putting free stuff, free games on Switch, using some of their characters. So and then when we look at censorship in games, Nintendo's just like, nope, you keep it uncensored. Do whatever you want to do. Now, there's going to be some cover up, some teasing and stuff. And people were getting on Sony PlayStation about it. They'd be like, why are you censoring their games? And Nintendo, who's a family-friendly company, aren't. and they made a statement. They'd be like, we believe in the creator's vision.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. That's forward moving for Nintendo. That was a really big thing. And then just seeing their relationship with Microsoft. I know we've brought it up so many times, but you cannot deny that they have a great relationship. Like I said, a lot of Nintendo fans aren't asking for that much from Microsoft. And I wish Nintendo would put some of their stuff on Xbox. They just work literally so well. And then this year, we got MLB The Show 22 coming out. Yes, that is with the MLB and with Sony. But I could see, how we'll see what the reviews are going to be when that game comes out and what people say. But I have a feeling that that's going to do somewhat good on Switch. Mm-hmm. And I just like the avenues that Nintendo that the Switch has presented, working with more Japanese companies, actually working with Way Forward to get 2 games out on their system. The Platinum Games becoming like a big thing. Koei Tecmo becoming a big thing. Definitely Bandai Namco with Smash Brothers. Yeah. And then them going to the SNK, going to Microsoft. going to all of these other companies, and it was just like, wow, you guys are incorporating these games into this party slash melee fighting game. Yes, it's sad that it's not going to be at Evo, but you got to give it to Nintendo to be like, wow, Sakurai and them really worked hard to bring this game to Switch and have all of these characters, and then add more Sephiroth, Sora, like.
I called Sora too. I just want to make sure everybody knows that. I'm very proud of myself.
He did, and
when this game was announced and they announced there was going to be DLC, I'm like, if they don't get Sora, they're making a mistake.
I have to eat dirt because a lot of people said it. I told them it wasn't going to happen because
I think everybody was shocked, including me, who like wanted Sora so bad. Like, just think of all the hoops they had to jump through. They had to go to Square. They have to go to Disney to license not only they have to license the Keyblade because that is technically a Disney property, right? With the mouse ears hanging off of it, right? They have to license the music, which is technically through Walt Disney Records, and like they had to jump through so many hoops that I doubt they made any money off of that, like that fighter in particular because of that, right?
Yeah.
But it was such a fan service thing, and like we've talked about before, the main entries don't really exist on Nintendo platforms, right? I'm not counting the cloud versions on Switch; they suck.
That would be my downgrade.
I mean,
my down thing.
Kingdom Hearts Recoded, Dream Drop Distance, 358 over 2 days, like Chain of Memories, right? Came to Game Boy Advance. Like that was the in between, the first in between game, and so I think that Kingdom Hearts is just as much of a Nintendo game as it is a PlayStation game, and I'm just really happy that Sora exists. And that was such a hype moment for me when I saw that. And I know we didn't get to do it the way that we did, like, the E3 stuff like Banjo or, some of the early ones. But that was a hype moment for me personally. I mean, I'm not like neck deep into Kingdom Hearts as much as I used to be, but I'm still, I mean, you know me, you've known me forever. I'm a huge Disney fan. I really like Kingdom Hearts a lot. And so just seeing Sora in a Nintendo game was like a Smash game was just awesome.
And I have to say that Nintendo has worked with Disney because they have put some of their games, like they collabed to put some of their games on their handhelds and maybe some of their consoles. So it may have been easier with that, but that Sora reveal was literally big, E3 when they show not just Daemon X Machina, but when they show Breath of the Wild, when they show Panzer Dragoon, when they show all of these, they were just hitting spot after spot after spot. I think that was 2019's E3, where it was just blowing everybody's mind that all of this stuff was coming out. Like, what in the world are you doing it? Like we were saying, Nintendo, stop! You are hitting us with too much goodness.
Yeah.
And you gotta give it. I have to give it up to Nintendo because people were doubting them as a company.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I still think our biggest hype moment was when they revealed Doom and Wolfenstein.
Exactly.
And like, It's not even that we're big Doom or Wolfenstein fans. It was the fact that like, Nintendo was finally getting major third-party support for this thing, right? And like. Mm-hmm. I mean, we saw it on Wii U a little bit, especially from Ubisoft. I think was like the strongest component, right? With 2 Assassin's Creed games, the definitive version of Rayman Legends, right, with the touchscreen, Zombie U, Watch Dogs. Like Ubisoft really brought it as much as they could to the Wii U until I still think they didn't bring Assassin's Creed Rogue to Wii U because Nintendo already said, "Hey, we're working on something else. You might just want to hold off." I mean, it was just really nice to see big third-party support, right? They showed Skyrim in that launch trailer, right? Okay, Skyrim's on everything, big deal. But like, Doom and Wolfenstein were a big deal.
Yeah,
like Doom 2016 was a surprise hit, and everybody's like, "You need like this massive PC to run it." And to see that Switch, like, Bethesda put in the effort with Panic Button to really put those games on the Switch was awesome. And like even The Witcher, right? I still talk about The Witcher to this day. That game is so fun on the Switch, right?
People beat it on the Switch.
I mean, I I wasn't going to sit down for 30 hours and play on an Xbox, you know? But I could play it in handheld mode. It really scratched that Breath of the Wild itch that I really had, right? I mean, they're not the same type of game, but it's still an open world kind of fantasy game. I like that universe enough to spend some time in it. You know, it was fun to spend time in that universe on the Switch. And
yeah.
You know, it's just been really nice to see.
Even before Doom and Wolfenstein was announced, just seeing in the trailer when they first announced Switch that Skyrim was coming, we was just like, wait a minute, what? Because Bethesda never has done anything for Nintendo.
Yeah.
And that was big. Even BioWare did the Sunday games, but I was just like, wait a minute.
I mean, Mass Effect 3 is technically on the Wii U. Okay.
Well, yes.
Technically, aside from story points, the best way to play Mass Effect 3 is on the Wii U.
Now, EA, get it together. We need that trilogy on Switch.
Yeah, where's my Mass Effect trilogy on Switch, guys? Come on.
Like, we're fine with whatever you give us, but
I think to that point, like, I think that would be such a major get for the Switch, but also I know that BioWare is still in kind of some hot water from Anthem and Mass Effect Andromeda, so I think really nailing down whatever the next Dragon Age is their top priority. But also, just saying, I wouldn't say no if you put Mass Effect Legendary Edition on Switch. I would spend the $60 to play it.
I think everybody would spend the $60. Look, I don't even need a physical of it. If you said this is digital only,
I mean, look, Doom Eternal never got a physical copy.
Right.
It's digital only, but guess what? It exists there. And I think to that point is like, as much as I have been trying to go back and get some of these physical games, right? Like, I think the Switch is a great digital platform. You know, the store sucks, but I mean, just having a digital library is such a nice thing to have on this.
Dude, how many times have we upgraded our SD cards?
I did like 3 times. You know, I have a 512 in there. I'm like, I need a terabyte. I need like a 2 terabyte one if it ever exists. But
it does. We just gotta find it or order it and pay $300, $400, about that much. It is just. And we haven't even got it to like Nintendo Online and stuff, so or Switch Online with those games, and that is what it is and stuff. But it's good that they're at least doing it. And then they got this missions and reward stuff, so you get more stuff.
Oh yeah,
in it. And
completely forgot about that.
Like and that is a really good thing. I've already changed my avatar to Captain Toad.
Of course you did.
And did a thing. Like it's really cool and stuff. And it doesn't take much to get it. It's just like, oh, this is awesome. So I really feel like within the 5 years, and definitely for RPG players, like this is PS2 memories all over again. Like this is an RPG machine for a lot of people. But in actuality, it's like so many things to so many communities of genres of games. It may not be a lot for first-person shooters, but the ones that's on there are really good shooters. Even though they may be ports, they really are great games.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, there's some third-party games that kind of suck on the Switch. I don't think Assassin's Creed is very good, to be honest with you, on the Switch. I mean, they're serviceable, but I just don't think that they're great. Also, big shout out to Roller Coaster Tycoon Adventures. It is terrible. Do not purchase Roller Coaster Tycoon. Also, Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 is available on Switch too, which is weird because Adventures is literally like a modified version of 3, so I don't know why you would have both, but that's just me, everybody. That's just me.
Yeah.
Burnout Paradise is actually a pretty decent port of that game on the Switch. So if you're looking for like a racing game that's not Mario Kart, that game is pretty fun on the Switch.
I have it on Switch and Xbox.
Yeah, I've been. Ever since we kind of talked about our show restructure type thing, I've been really trying to focus on Switch in particular, considering that Arsenal X isn't going right now, and I want to kind of focus on where we're headed with Nintendo content in particular. So
Yes.
I'm going back to the if it's on Switch, I'm getting it there.
I think the last thing for me that I love within this 5 years, and hopefully I see more of, I kind of want to see just more new IPs. Like I got a lot of new IPs on Switch that I definitely enjoyed, and definitely arcade games. Like there's arcade games I've never heard of, I've never seen in America, and I'm getting to play them on Switch.
Yeah.
And give me some more collections like Capcom, the Capcom Friday Anniversary. I've barely played any. I only got to try Darkstalkers like once at an arcade like in Kentucky, and I never got to experience that series. And
that surprises me. That seems like an ad series for sure.
I've always read about Darksiders, and no, not Darksiders, sorry, Darkstalkers. Darksiders is the RPG action game like Zelda, which is I love that game. Truly love.
I love those games. Those games are dumb and fun, and I'm all about it.
Yes. I just never got to play those fighting games, even Red Earth and stuff. And I think and definitely Square Enix. Shout out to them because they've been a big support. The Japanese support for Switch has been amazing. Even Capcom, just like, man, I know you guys put some stuff here and there, but y'all making moves. Yeah. Now, yes, you are porting like half of the Resident Evil series to the Switch, but I'm just like,
which is fine.
Hey.
That's cool. Like
yes.
I wish like the rest of the series was available there, but I mean, you have what 0-1 Revelations 2, 4, 5, 6,
4, 5, 6, yeah. So the only ones is Village, 7. Oh, I think 7 is Cloud in Japan. And then remake of 2 and 3 we don't have, which is fine. I mean, those games are like remakes. I'm just like, okay, Yeah. Oh, and we don't have Code Veronica. Well, no one has Code Veronica, I don't think.
Well, Xbox has it via backwards compatibility.
Oh, okay, that's cool. But yeah, Nintendo has brought a lot of things to the Switch, and definitely with people carrying it on the go, getting new Joy-Cons. Yeah, the Joy-Con drift sucks. Their online functionality could be a little bit better, but it is for a lot of us. We like to do single player games, and when we do multiplayer games, we do it on Switch. It's like for Smash, Mario Party, and Mario Kart. I would love to play with more people. Like I'm get on the wrong, but I would love to play my son original because I like, this is great that I get to actually play games. Me and you, we got 2 series completed that people could go watch. Link to the Past and Super Metroid.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna really try to bring that back at some point. I really want to, at least. It's
I missed your claps.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like a big inside joke of like Ed and I, like every time Ed did something dumb or good, I would clap for him because we did the Switch Online thing. And like we can really expand into N64 now and Sega, right? Because like those are on there now, and we could do. I mean, we're trying to plan something with Galtrad with his streams, right? Of timeline with Zelda, but I mean, we could do other games besides Zelda,
Yeah.
Maybe I'll play through the N64 Ocarina of Time to try to get that nasty taste out of my mouth from my one and only experience with that game.
Or would you have me play it and experience the
No,
game with me? Like,
I will play.
like,
I will play the 3D games. You are the 2D master.
okay.
I mean, you can if you want. I don't care. Whatever. We'll figure it out.
But that's pretty much it for me. Anything else, Corey?
I mean, my launch day experience was pretty great with the system. I requested off work that day to go stand in line. I'd already pre-ordered it. I was just standing in line with other people to get it.
Mm-hmm.
And that whole day was just great. I got Zelda and 1-2 Switch and Bomberman. I got my gray Joy-Cons. I set it up. It was awesome. It reminded me a lot of, like, I don't know what I missed about midnight launches almost, except it was like 8 o'clock in the morning. But
Trust
like
me, I was there for the Toys R Us one.
it was just it was exciting. Anytime a new console launches, it's exciting. But like Nintendo is really the only console since the GameCube, I would say, is like I always get a Nintendo console day one. I can usually wait on a PlayStation or an Xbox, although I got my Series X on day one, and that was like the best decision I've ever made in that regard. But like Nintendo, there's something special about getting a new Nintendo console. Even the Wii U, when I went in to get my Wii U, that was awesome. I bought the Wii U. I got like 10 games with it because like they literally like flooded the market with games.
Yeah.
I think it was New Super Mario Brothers. It was, I know, Darksiders 2. I got Call of Duty Black Ops 2. I got, what else did I get? Assassin's Creed 3. Nintendo Land. I got like 5 or 6 games that day. It was awesome.
Did you buy the Mass Effect one? Or did Mass Effect come later?
I don't know if it came later. Zombie U was the other game I got.
Yeah.
I think Mass Effect was like 2 weeks later.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't get the Wii U because it was just sold out. It literally was sold out.
I walked right in and got it. I didn't even pre-order it. I walked right in and bought one on launch day.
My mom got it for me for my birthday gift, and I cried.
But yeah, I mean, the Switch launch day was just. I mean, we're never gonna have days like the Wii again, right? Where everybody would stand in line around the door. It's all online pre-orders and stuff, and there's something missing, right? Like I was thinking about that the other day, where like standing in line for midnight launches, like Halo 3 really stands out.
Mm-hmm.
The Wii stands out. Twilight Princess stands out, but I mean that came out with the Wii also. Just those midnight launches was something really unique, right? And so we're never going to get that again, though. Really, especially with like the growing digital age and the pandemic is still kind of lingering, and just these consoles are just you pre-order them online and then you just have them shipped to your house, or you go to the store and pick up, right? There's no excitement. There's no sense of community anymore. But like with the Switch, it kind of felt like we were rekindling that a little bit because there were real Nintendo fans in line, and we were talking about Zelda and how cool Breath of the Wild looked, and we were talking about our favorite Zelda games, and that launch day was just really something special and something I won't forget, and it's up there with when I got Halo 3 and the Master Chief helmet, or when I got a GameCube on my birthday. GameCube literally came out like the day after my birthday, and that was fun. And yeah, I mean, just launch day was awesome.
Yeah. Well, everybody, that's going to be it for Doc Mo.
Lame.
Congratulations. And congratulations to Nintendo for 5 years.
Yeah, here's the 5 more.
Yes. Probably with the NVIDIA NVN2 chip for Switch Pro.
Yeah.
Who knows? But we're going to get to playing with power. Now, Corey, do we start with... Did you play the Kirby demo?
I did, but I'm not as hot on it as other people are.
Okay. Because the Kirby and Triangle Strategy...
We can talk about it if you want. I literally only played like 20 minutes of it. I just... it was exactly what I thought it was, right?
Mm-hmm.
It felt like a 3D Kirby game to me. I don't know if I just didn't get far enough or what, but like I got to the point where you're like sucking up enemies, and I got that first ability with the sword, right? And then you suck up.
Yeah.
What's the second guy you suck up? It's like a wizard, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not as into it as other people, and it's fine. Like I understand that it's not a game for me, but it was cool that they put a demo out. I would say. Yeah. It controls well. It feels more like that first level, at least. It feels like Super Mario 3D World and not Odyssey like, which I think a lot of people wanted.
Yeah, I think sorry, everybody. The control is so tight because the control is so tight. That's why I was just like, man, this feels perfect. There was something about it with that control, just moving Kirby. I was just like, this, just felt right for some reason. I'm just like, someone spent time on this to make sure that they got this 3D perfect for Kirby. Mm-hmm. The fighting, the sucking up, and yes, pretty much everything that you seen like in the direct, and even when they showcase the muffle mode and stuff, everything that you pretty much seen there is like the first 3 levels besides the boss. And I was just like, oh, I'm in for a great adventure, and I think a lot of people may make this as one of their Game of the Year nominations, because I'm like, of course the Game Awards be like, it's a family friendly game, whatever that may be, but I'm like, this is really good. This is to me perfect.
It's like, a beautiful game. It's a great looking Kirby game. I will give it that. It definitely looks way better than Star Allies did when it came out.
Yeah, and I think this is gonna be a palate cleanser for anybody, but it's really a game that anyone could really get into. And yes, the wild mode is like supposed to be a little bit challenging, but I still felt like it was easy. I didn't feel like it was too hard or anything, and I think that's what I liked about this demo. That they gave you 2 full levels and a boss, and they got little achievement things here and there. And I think that's really cool that they added when they do that and stuff. I was happy with it. I'm like, yeah, my pre-sale purchase was right on the money. And I don't know how long the game is going to be, but I really enjoyed this demo. I really love controlling Kirby in this game.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it controls fine. Like it's a beautiful game. It's just I don't think I'm gonna be sticking around for it.
Okay,
but I know Stephanie's excited. I know you're excited. I think Jacob's excited. Dan, the normal Nintendo crew is excited for it. It's just not something I'm looking forward to. But I'm glad they put a demo out because it allowed me to try it and confirm my decision.
Okay.
And I'm sure it'll sell 10 million copies because it's a Kirby game.
Well, I have a feeling later on down the line there'll be a copy in your household.
I mean, there probably will. I have kids. But, I downloaded the demo, and my daughter can play it when she wants. So.
Okay. Well, we both played Triangle Strategy.
Yes.
Also.
Yes, we did. That is a much better video game than Kirby.
So I'm going to say this. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You go.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say there's a lot of talking. I was just making a
Yes.
joke about the talking. That's all.
Yes, a lot of story points and stuff. The names are just bunkers. Selenoa. I'm like,
Yeah, I
wait,
don't know.
what? The Wolf House, the Wolf Gang House, and I'm like, this is too much. These names are out of control. I want to focus on the gameplay on this now. I am enjoying the gameplay. Only did literally one battle because there's just so much talking. I think the whole second chapter is just them talking, and then like chapter 3, be like, wait, what?
Yeah. What happened? Did I fight something? Did I fall asleep? Did I win?
Right.
No. Okay.
So this is one of my concerns with this. I see what they're doing with when. So I corner an enemy from the back and the front, but I also cornered an enemy to the side, and I kind of wish that if you were corner an enemy on all 3 sides or all 4 sides, you would think there would be a combo attack, but there's only like really one attack. And the person in front who's doing the attacking, and the person in the back doing the attacking.
There's no that third person doesn't chime in, or you can't pick which person attacks. Right?
Yes.
So, yeah, I get that.
Yeah, and I think I need to figure. I don't know if what is the triangle strategy in here. Is it like sword beats spear, spear beats
I mean, I really don't know, to be honest with you. I was expecting it to be more prevalent in the beginning, and maybe it is. Maybe I just skipped over it because I was so tired of reading everything.
Yeah, it doesn't do a good job in explaining like the battle system in a way.
Yeah.
Because even though I'm playing on normal, I was just like, this is. I guess the game expects you to know how to play a strategy game, or Square Enix, just like if you play Final Fantasy Tactics or Fire Emblem, you should know how to do this. It's just like, no, you need to explain.
I don't know. There's a lot of reading tutorials in there. I mean, there's no gameplay tutorial, but there's a lot of reading that you can do to read the tutorial. And like, I just skipped over it. To be honest with you, I was just like, just let me figure it out. If I die, I die. I don't care. Just let me figure it out.
Well, I feel like you shouldn't be able to die in like the first battle and stuff. Be like, there's got to be something to.
But you totally can. You totally can die in the first battle.
Exactly.
That's why I put it on easy.
Which is fine.
Suck. I'm not smart. I just like tactics games. I'm not smart. I don't want it to be hard. I want to feel accomplished after I win.
That is true. That is very true. I do like the fact that when you attack, when you become successful in your attack thing or whatever, you literally get experience points. It doesn't wait for the whole battle to be over for you to get your total score. No, you literally can level up while just fighting. And I think that's so cool. I love that they took that tactic for it, because I think it makes grinding easier. And it encourages you to do side quests, and I feel like it's going to encourage people to go do side quests, get into some side battles, so you can level up and be stronger in your next battle for your strategy, with it. So I am enjoying it. I know I need to play more of it once I get through with a lot of reading. I'm at the part where I am in a town, and right now I could just free roam and talk to people and stuff. I'm right there. I won't give away any story beats in case of you not to that point, Corey. But yeah, I am really enjoying this. It's probably JRPG nomination right now for Game of the Year.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I want to play more of it just to like kind of get more of a feel for it, and but I like what I'm playing. I still think I like the Fire Emblem style of strategy better than this in particular, but it's still like a really great strategy game. So
Yeah. So, anything else? Have you been playing anything else? Like I said, I've been playing Voice of Cards, the first, Forsaken Maiden, and really been grinding, getting my money. It's taking some twists and turns. So one thing I was adventuring, kind of grinding, getting some money, and I ran into a bag, this parcel, and it was just like, okay, I'll take it with me. So I go in, and it's just like, okay, you give this bag to this, take it to this town. So I went to the town. I was seeing who I could give it to, and I gave it to this one female NPC. And she said that she ordered this parcel and she was excited to get it, and so she did. So I'm like, okay, I got 500 gold coins for it. I'm like, okay, yeah, reward. I go out and I continue to play the game, and I was just like, okay, let me return to the town so I could get, I rest up and go get some equipment. I get to the town, and there's another story beat. And it was just like, there's a sadness in part of the town. And you like, uh-oh, what happened? And so you find out that parcel that you gave the girl was actually some kind of aroma that attracted monsters. So when she went out of the town, the monsters killed her.
Oh, jeez.
And so you're just like, you're like, I did find it. Because you have the option to give it to find, when you find a parcel, you could leave it there or you could take it with you. And it was just like, oh, wow, I did not expect this. So even though you did something good and unexpected and we was rewarded for it, you actually got someone killed for it. And I was just, my mouth was agape. I was like, really? But then I went to the shop and spent that money so I could get some gear.
Wow.
So I didn't feel no more obligation to it.
Wow.
It was just unexpected that happened. I'm like, oh, okay, this is cool. My moral choices will affect the game. Yeah, didn't expect that. But thank you for the money.
Wow. Good job, Ed.
Yes. What about you, Corey?
I played a little bit more of Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, other than Triangle Strategy, and I'm still really enjoying it. It's just a lot of fun. I love the characters, and I love the world. It's just a really interesting world to explore. So I don't really have any news on that front, but I've also been playing a lot of Tetris Effect recently.
Yes.
I'm back on that. I'm going to play Tetris before I go to bed every night. Kick. Which
I do have the Puyo Tetris 2 that I need to start. I got it for Black Friday from last year for like, I think $20 or $10.
I've retired my Puyo Tetris, Ed, and I've been playing Tetris Effect, which is way better. It's just way better.
Yeah, I know. I need to pick up the game. I really want to hear.
It's so good, man. And on the OLED, oh, so good. Plus, like, what I like about the Switch version is, like, you can, if you're in handheld mode, you can use the right stick to zoom in and out.
Mm-hmm.
So you can actually see the pieces where they're going.
Nice.
So I really love Tetris, man. Tetris is just, it's the perfect video game. It's the only perfect video game that exists, and I will stand by that until forever.
Well, that's just, everybody, that's just been a preview for Expansion Pass.
Yeah.
There's going to be more talk about it, but just giving you a little preview about that. Because, Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Go. I didn't mean to.
Because the history of Tetris is interesting. and our personal histories with the series is going to be a good discussion to have because I really feel like Tetris has been a very impactful game on many people's lives. And yeah, there's been different texts about it, but man, just the history of it is very interesting. I think there is a documentary for it too. I believe.
What was the game you said you were playing, Ed? I'm just making sure I get them right for the show notes.
Voice of Cards, The Forsaken Maiden.
Cool. Okay, and then last but not least, of course, I've been neck deep in Destiny.
Yes.
Man, the raid came out. I didn't do the raid, but from what I've heard, it has just solidified the Witch Queen as the best expansion or the best game that Bungie has ever done.
Question: what was someone was congratulated Saturday because they finished it? I think.
Yeah. Well, it was this weekend was the world's first race, so people were congratulating the team who beat it first.
Okay.
Which wasn't as long as I expected. Sometimes it goes like a day, like usually like a half a day or a full day. They beat it. I think they beat it in like 8 hours, which is pretty fast for a first attempt. I'll be honest. So
there's like many sections that they have to do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything really about the raid because I haven't done it and I haven't really watched anything on it, but it's supposedly really good, and I'm really excited to try it at some point.
Okay.
But I've just been like grinding out and trying to doing the quests and the side quests and the grinding, and it's just the drill, the normal.
Yeah, trust me, I understand. I'm excited to play it.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what I've been doing. I think I'm gonna try to do the campaign on Legendary with my friends at some point because it levels you up faster, and you get double rewards for everything when you do it on the Legendary mode. So,
because that's the hardest difficulty, right?
Yeah.
I always thought Destiny was one difficulty.
It is, but they added the Legendary campaign to the Witch Queen.
Ah, interesting. Okay, cool.
And what they finally did was add the ability to go back and play the campaign after you beat it.
Again. The whole main game.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Which you could not do before. So.
Right, because once you were done with the missions, that was it.
Yeah. So I wonder if they're going to try to do that for the previous stuff, but we'll see. That's all I've been playing.
All right. Well, everybody, that's going to be it for Nintendo Power Block. Just as some quick plugs, Corey, where can we find you?
You can find me at IamCoreyInHD on Twitter and Instagram. You can also find me hosting the Boss Rush podcast every Wednesday live right here on twitch.tv/Boss Rush Network or on Mondays on your podcast service. You can also get it on Fridays if you are a patron for $1. So,
yes. You guys can find me on Twitter at that retro code. You can find more of Nintendo Power Block on Boss Rush Net on Wednesdays and on our YouTube page. Come join us on our Discord. Now, the announcement that I want to let you guys know is that we won't be having a show next week. We won't be live. Boss Rush will be on spring break. So, but we will try to get some content for you guys to check out for that week. It's just that we won't have a show next week. We'll be coming back live on the 21st, so you guys can check us out there. And just to remind you guys, Kirby demo is the code for our giveaway. You will see it on our pinned tweet on Wednesday. So hopefully you guys remember it, and that if not, when you watch the show, hopefully we see your entry into the Kirby and the Forgotten Land contest. We'll be announcing winners a little bit later. So I am excited to see who will win the game. With that, Corey, anything else?
Well, Probably should have done this at the top of the show because after plugs, I don't know how many people are really listening. But just to let everybody know, we're kind of restructuring how shows work at Boss Rush in general. And so for Nintendo Power Block in particular, we're incorporating Nintendo Power Block Expansion Pass, which you've probably heard a couple episodes already if you listen to the audio version of this. Or if you're on YouTube, you might see notifications of Expansion Pass going up on Sundays. But what we want to do is really do a supplemental show for each of the main shows. And so Expansion Pass is Nintendo Power Block's supplemental show, which will incorporate things like the direct recap show that we do. It'll incorporate spoiler casts. It'll incorporate kind of topical shows that you've heard already, and other things Nintendo related. It's something that Ed and I have been talking about doing for years, and we just never found the right cadence to do it, or we've always been too busy or pulled away. Mm-hmm. And then, obviously I left for a little bit to do Arsenal X, which is now on hiatus. Now I'm back. And so, yeah, we are finally in a position where I think we can actually hit a couple of the things that we've been wanting to do for years. So I just want to remind everybody to look out for Expansion Pass on Sundays. It is going to be a Patreon early access show for $1. So if you want it a week early, you can go to Patreon, our Patreon page, and pay $1. But also, we're going to make sure that it's still free for everyone a week later on the Nintendo Power Block feed, podcast feed. So nobody really feels like they're missing out. Like we've talked about before, we don't really want our Patreon to feel like it's walling people off from content that we do. It's more of a direct way to support us if you want. And so the next couple episodes will be free, but I think starting in April, it's going to be an early access style show. So that first week in April, you will probably actually get 2 expansion passes on Patreon to kind of jumpstart that.
Yes. Well, with that, everybody, have a great week. Have a great weekend. Let us know what you guys are playing, what you guys are snacking on, what games you are picking up. We want to all know it. You can join us at our Discord for Boss Rush Network. Come join us there and interact with us in the community. With that, everybody, we'll see you next time on Nintendo Power Block. Bye, everybody. Woohoo!
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to Power Block Podcast, the flagship Nintendo podcast of Boss Rush Network. Do you need even more gaming and entertainment in your life? Head over to bossrush.net where you can find news, reviews, creators, podcasts, and more focused around the content you enjoy.